Well, hello, retro game players. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'll be your host this evening for the third annual Halloween Spectacular of Retro Gaming Sunset. Turn off the lights and lock your doors because we're about to get into it. Well, happy Halloween! We've got 5 new videos for you on this Hallows Eve. But before I introduce my first guest, I will be drawing from this haunted, spooktacular deck of cards. Should I choose a skeleton, then that video will have some extra spice to it. Please give me a skeleton. Oh, it's a witch. Well, let's begin. Our first guest is Radical Reggie as he brings us Game Slam.
A life is shattered when a young wife dies, suffering a tragic fate. 3 years later, a mysterious letter arrives from the man's dead wife, beckoning him to return to the sanctuary of their once beautiful memories. He must go back to require the truth and uncover what really happened, unaware that the answers he seeks may require the ultimate sacrifice. A young woman lives a carefree life until her world is turned upside down. Trapped alone with the mysterious creatures stuck in a town, she must discover the terrifying connection of her past and her darkest fears. This Halloween, join us as we take a terrifying trip to the town that nobody wants to go to. I'll see you in Silent Hill.
Silent Hill has always been one of my favorites. Let's move on. We have another great channel, Dumpster Dive Film Reviews. Judy, let's see if I can get a skull on this one. Oh. It's a pumpkin. Well, let's begin with Movie Machine.
Happy Halloween, retro game players. I am Judy Garbage from Dumpster Dive Film Reviews. Welcome to this edition of Movie Machine. Once in a while, when I go diving for forgotten or knowledgeably discarded films, I find that rare cinematic treasure that deserves to be dug out from the depths of obscurity and appreciated by current audiences. Today's dumpster find, for example, is not one of these films. Today's dumpster find is 2017's Bus Party to Hell. Now you're probably thinking the same thing I am, which is, wouldn't Party Bus to Hell make more sense? IMDb, it turns out, agrees with you, as does the opening credits song from the film itself. But leave it to a film that let Tara Reid not only act, but be one of the executive producers to not make the smartest decisions.
Whale sharks. I'm like, oh, that must mean a whale and a shark have sex.
If it is still not clear to you why this film is in the dumpster, allow me to elaborate. Bus Party to Hell is about a party bus leaving Las Vegas to head to Burning Man. Because naturally when you think of Burning Man, you think party bus in Vegas. Before the party bus though, Tara Reid is in the desert killing a guy who turns out to be undead or something. Then she comes across a photographer and his model in the desert before they're all attacked by mummies. Then the bus purposely runs her over. As she lies dying on the road, the head of the guy she killed earlier catches up to her and attacks her. Your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, back on the bus, there's a lot of stereotypical partying with topless women and bad acting until the bus suddenly stops in the middle of the desert to check tire pressure or some other lame excuse. Not only can they not find their bus driver a few minutes later, an unconvincing actor discovers the bus grill covered in blood. Oh my god! While everyone mills about outside, they discover the real bus driver dead in the back compartment.
Who the hell's been driving us this whole time?
And suddenly it's night, and they are ambushed by, my best guess is a group of Renaissance Fair rejects? Most of the partiers are unconvincingly killed off, and some survivors lock themselves on the bus.
I don't think they can get in. This is a very sturdy bus. The windows are shatterproof. Steel frame. This vehicle was meant to withstand the worst impact scenarios.
Party bus standards shot way up after that whole Jimmy Hoffa fiasco. It turns out Burning Man is very disappointing in person. So these attackers are supposed to be Satanists or some weird orgy cult of cannibals that like to do very creepy, kinky things with snakes. These cult members also figure out that there's an escape hatch above the bathroom that they can get into. However, they forget about it after this scene, so it kind of doesn't matter.
You like that? I bet you do.
But he's in a better place.
Well, better than the rest of us, admittedly. The original bus driver reappears and tells them that yes, she is with the cult, and one of the survivors on the bus is the chosen one that everybody's really after.
The virgin.
Apparently, sexy thongs are a requirement in this particular cult. I guess if the Mormons can have their magic underwear, why can't these people? After the bus driver is shot dead, her clearly fake tattoos temporarily become real creatures in a really weird TSO music video.
I don't want to die.
I'm not convinced. Basically, to sum up, the survivors decide that the virgin should lose her virginity and then maybe the cult won't want her anymore. So she goes down into the luggage compartment with one of the guys, while the others above them find the bus keys inside the body of the bus driver. Okay. Her blood, meanwhile, drips down into the luggage compartment onto the virgin losing her virginity, and the virgin turns into a demon thing with a few continuity errors, and definitely not a costume with an obvious neckline. Everything from there, much like everything before that, is kind of irrelevant. So why is this film in the dumpster? Well, I've already talked about why I think it's in the dumpster pretty much, and most of my thoughts can be summed up in this one IMDb comment on the film. I recommend you stay off this bus and wait for another. Look, I know for Halloween you might want a scary or even a so bad it's scary film, but not this one. Please don't spend money on this. It will only encourage them. If you like orgies that involve blood and guts and dismembered body parts being put into places that they shouldn't be, please reconsider your life choices. On the other hand, if you are into a lot of unnecessary nudity and bad acting, then go watch a porn, because my guess is it'll have a better plot. I don't know, maybe there's a Halloween category on Pornhub. I mean, anyway, don't give these people any more money. Back to you, Marcus.
Well, that was quite a horrifying production on many levels. But thank you for bringing us another amazing episode of Movie Machine, Judy. Let's get into the next one. I really need to get a skull. It's been too long for me. So here we go. Oh man, it's a stupid pumpkin again. Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe it's a skull instead. It's gonna be Marcus bringing us Toy Trunk.
Well, happy Halloween. I'm Marcus, and I'm going to be talking to you about Toy Trunk. So, you guys remember the grocery store toy aisles, right? I mean, they were always kind of like generic, sort of crappy toys, but it's also where you found things like Silly Putty and those weird water weenies and all kinds of bizarro cap guns and stuff like that. Well, there was this one toy aisle where I grew up, and basically it was at this awesome little store. It had an entire length of an aisle, all toys. And so this was one that I found one Halloween, and I loved this toy as a kid. It's so stupid and basic, but it's just bleeding Halloween style. And it's made by a company called Arco, which Arco actually made a lot of 80s toys, and even like way before that as well. But this is the Ghost Light Pen. And so it's like a Grim Reaper sort of pen that also lights up. So if you put a couple AA batteries in there, his head glows, and then he can put this cape on, or this like hood, and it's just very ominous. And anyway, I just remember like this was so cool to have. I actually would play with this with my Ghostbusters toys, which of course were awesome, but this guy fit right in. So pretty awesome. And then on the back you can see all the markings of a generic toy, you know, that you'd find in a grocery store. But yeah, Arco, it's an interesting company. I actually happen to have another one here too. This is the robot version, not very Halloween styled and not as cool. Definitely this one is awesome. So anyway, there you go. That is the Ghost Light Pen. It also says light up Knight Rider, signal your friends. I don't know what that means exactly. How are you going to signal your friends? But thanks for having me on, and well, that's weird. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, I'm coming. Jeez, you know, this is too late for trick-or-treaters. Hello? Weird.
segments remain. Let's jump into Music Beat. Tonight, it's brought to us by Kevin with Happy Beard Games. Oh, please, another skull. It's a witch again.
Make Halloween fun with one-stop shopping at Woolworth or Woolco for your Halloween needs. Costumes from $1.83 to $3.99, like $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, superheroes, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and a new favorite for girls, Holly Hobby. You can get wrapped candies of every kind, bubblegum, lollipops, fun-sized candy bars. Get this Halloween record, Sounds to Make You Shiver, just $1.89. Make Halloween fun and easy. Make just one stop at Woolworth or Woolco.
Stephen King, author of Carrie, said, "Evil Dead is the most ferociously original horror film of the year. If you think he's kidding, see for yourself." Evil Dead. They got up on the wrong side of the grave. Evil Dead from New Line Cinema.
Starts tomorrow at these theaters. Check newspapers for times.
Hey everybody, it's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games, and you're watching Retro Game Player's Retro Gaming Sunset Halloween Music Beat. And today we are focusing on what is my favorite video game of all time's soundtrack, that is Super Castlevania IV on the Super Nintendo. We've got a copy of the vinyl soundtrack recently released by Mondo here. Now, while I love the video game of Castlevania IV, its awesome platforming, its epic story of Simon Belmont battling through hordes of monsters level after level to make his way to fight the big boss Dracula at the end of the game, the music in the game is special to me as well. When I listen to the music, the soundtrack, it brings me back to when I was playing the game for the first time as a young kid, and it brings me back to the memories I had when I first encountered certain boss fights, certain levels, and certain enemies, and the adventure that I had throughout Castlevania IV. While to some people it might sound like your standard Super Nintendo style soundtrack, to me Castlevania IV's soundtrack is much more than that. It features inspirations from rock music, electronic music, as well as horror movie themes. The music that plays during the intro cutscene of Super Castlevania IV, where Dracula arises from his grave after 100 years of slumber, is very dark, eerie, and ominous. It sets up perfectly the sense of dread and horror that will lead you onto your adventure, your quest, throughout Castlevania. When you begin the game of Castlevania IV, you are playing as Simon Belmont, legendary vampire killer on his quest to destroy Dracula. And the game starts out very dark and mysterious, not only in the background and setting of the game's visuals, but in the music as well. When the gates of Castlevania begin to arise and the monsters emerge from the shadows, Simon Belmont knows he's in for a real threat and a big adventure. The theme of Simon Belmont is the song that plays on the very first level of the game, and it's a really important song, and it's really a great one too. The first half of Castlevania IV is an adventure leading up to Dracula's castle. Once you're within Dracula's castle, you've got another half of the game to complete. And with this game, Castlevania IV, it has almost an entirely unique soundtrack. Now, since this is a game for the Super Nintendo, the next generation, and it's a remake of Castlevania, Castlevania IV's soundtrack features a few songs that are cover songs or remixes of past Castlevania hits from Castlevania 1 and 2, such as Vampire Killer and Bloody Tears. These songs appropriately play at the very end of the game when you're in Dracula's castle, because that's what took place in the original Castlevania game. When Simon Belmont's adventure is nearly complete and he makes it up that final staircase to Dracula's chambers in Dracula's castle, he is ready to fight and do battle with the Count. This final boss battle is an epic confrontation of good versus evil, Simon Belmont versus Dracula. And appropriately, it does play Dracula's theme from the intro cutscene of the game. You get that dark, ominous feeling, and it's mysterious as you're playing the boss fight. It's actually a quieter, slower paced boss fight tune than most of the boss fights in this game. It's not a big epic song, it's a slower, eerie, creepy song. And then halfway through the battle, as Simon Belmont begins to get the upper hand, the advantage in the battle,
it does play and switch over to the rockin' tune of the theme of Simon Belmont. Yeah, this part of the game, this part of the boss fight, you know you're ready to kick Dracula's butt, and you're ready to fight in this awesome battle. I think the importance of Castlevania 4's final boss music is the conflict of good versus evil. You've got two songs, the theme of Dracula, the theme of Simon, playing during this boss fight. And you can see the conflict as you're fighting through the boss fight in your gameplay, but you can also hear it during the soundtrack. When Dracula is finally defeated by Simon Belmont in that epic final battle, the music changes to a more peaceful tune, and you get a sense of peace being restored to the land. Simon Belmont's quest is complete and Dracula is defeated. However, there is the remaining threat of Dracula returning in another 100 years. The peaceful music continues throughout the credits, and as the credits roll, it actually shows some clips of each level of the game that you've played, reflecting back on your adventure throughout Castlevania 4, and it's a big one. Simon Belmont will have these memories for the rest of his life, and as a video gamer who's played this game, you will have those memories as well. And that's why Super Castlevania 4's soundtrack is something I recommend giving a listen to or playing this Halloween. I'm Kevin from Howiebeard Games, and this was Music Beat on Retro Game Player's Retro Gaming Sunset.
I love Castlevania. Let's move on to our last segment for the evening, Reading Retro. The Game Hunters are bringing it again. Oh, they are just delightful. Let's see. Can I please get another skull? Grr! A pumpkin!
Hi there, guys and ghouls. It's me, Elvira, the Queen of Halloween, and tonight I'm having my Halloween party right here at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific.
After Elvira shows you the weirdest, scariest videos ever made, the terror continues with Alice Cooper live in Detroit at midnight Eastern.
Wednesday, it's a hair-raising Halloween happening. Catchy beginning. First, that Emmy-winning Fat Cat. It's the trick-or-treat trail. I'm no scaredy cat. It's all new Garfield's Halloween Adventure. Then,
I hear the Great Pumpkin.
the Halloween classic, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, right after Garfield Wednesday.
Hey everyone, COE33 here with my sister Leaf.
Hey guys!
And we're here with another segment of Reading Retro. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah!
So I thought that I would take this opportunity, because I know you're all very excited about this, to read the complete works of William Shakespeare from front to back.
What?
Yep. It'll take 6 hours. So
6 hours?
Grab your popcorn and and let's just sit back and start with Act 1 of Titus Andronicus. Scene 1, Rome, before the Capitol. The tomb of Andronicus appearing, the tribunes and senators aloft. Enter, below, from one side, Saturnius and his followers, and from the other side, Basanius.
Boring!
For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an 90 Rome? Nurse, nurse, ah, sir, ah, sir. Well, death's the end of all. Stay with us, there, Leaf. We have 300 more pages to go. A great while ago the world began, with hey ho. But that's all one, our play is done, and we'll strive to please you every day. And scene. And that completes the complete works of William Shakespeare. Leaf, are you asleep? Leaf? What, do you not like William Shakespeare? Do you have a better idea?
I have a better idea.
What's that?
Why don't we read the complete works of
The complete works of Alien Storm?
Yeah.
You think that's better than William Shakespeare?
Yes.
Well, we could read the manual, I suppose. That might be fun, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I try to bring a little culture to Reading Retro.
That's That's not culture. That's culture.
Okay, well then we'll read the manual, the synopsis to Alien Storm.
Woo!
Annihilate the aliens. Vicious predators from the far ends of the universe are invading our planet. They're mean and wicked, creating havoc everywhere they go. No one is able to end this turmoil until a group of courageous citizens, known as the Alien Busters, take charge. Who you gonna call? We both went there. Be a buster and take on giant winged worms and multi-faced beasts.
The
But
alien busters are
beware.
gonna come out and get you.
They have the ability to turn themselves into whatever they want, even humans. Blast your fire blazer and sizzle mutants till they smoke. Chase crawly critters down highways with your almighty thunder bazooka.
Bazookas?
If that doesn't work, summon the gunship or the ballistic missile. That should do the trick. But the battle isn't over yet. In your final mission, you face an incredible creature with terrifying powers.
Ooh.
You'll need a full load of tricks, weapons, and strength to save the world and come out alive. Alien Storm. And scene. Back to you, Marcus.
Well, that concludes this evening. Oh, I must say, what a great show. Thank you to all my guests. Please go check out their channels. I think you'll find their content to be quite amusing. Happy Halloween, and until next time, keep it retro by looking for skulls.